Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Beanie Baby and it says, my 25 female, fiance's 28 male, brother 25 male, drunk dialed me saying he's in love with me. I've known both of them since college. I actually met the brother, Lucas, first. He was in the audience while I was performing a spoken word piece. Our friends knew each other and we met, etc, etc. Lucas eventually introduced me to his older brother, Miles, and I was instantly smitten, as they say. Miles and I started dating very quickly after we met. He's always been very assertive and confident, while Lucas is quiet and introverted. Miles and I are now engaged. We're aiming the wedding for next year, hopefully in the summer unless something goes horribly wrong. Lucas is going to be the best man. We are very happy together. Last night Lucas called me around 1 o'clock in the morning. Right away I knew something was wrong because he never calls, especially not so late. He's more of a texter. I didn't actually answer the call because I was in the bathroom. I figured I'd call him after I was done. He ended up leaving a message saying this, word for word, Jess, my friend, how are you? I missed you at the bar last week. We were supposed to go to the karaoke place, remember? You're a terrible singer by the way. Smart and clever, but a terrible singer. Anyway, I'm really drunk right now and I'll probably regret saying this in the morning, if I can remember it, but I love you, Jess. Weird, right? You're funny and beautiful and I love the fuck out of you and I'm so sorry. You and Miles are a good couple. I'm happy my brother found such an amazing person to spend his life with. I would say I wish I met you first, but I did, didn't I? Anyway, sorry. Please don't tell Miles. I just wanted to say it out loud to you once. That's all. Bye. I was in shock, and then I cried. And then I sat down and thought of everything that happened since I performed my spoken word all those years ago. Honestly, I had no idea. Lucas has dated and been in a few relationships since I've known him. He was only ever amazing to those girls. Kind, doting, respectful, loyal, the list goes on. He didn't say how long he's felt this way. Maybe it's new. I don't know. Either way, I don't know what to do. Should I talk to him about it? Should I tell Miles? Should I take this to the grave and pretend I don't know? I'd want to know if my sister had called my fiancé and admitted to being in love with him. But I don't want to strain my fiancé's relationship with his brother. On top of that, Lucas was drunk. He likely doesn't even remember he left the message. On the back of that, someone asked OP why she cried. OP says, I cried because that's my natural reaction to bad things. I'm a crier, lol. Also because I felt bad for him. He's a good person. For him to be pushed to the point that he had to tell me, he must have been in a bad place. And I've never had romantic feelings for him. Once I befriend someone, that's it. My feelings don't change. I'm starting to think that I should talk to both of them. Miles first and maybe Lucas second, depending on Miles' stance and reaction. In the same post, OP updates and says, Miles came home a couple of hours ago. I played him the message expecting some level of shock or anger, but he just went, oh shit, is he okay? To my relief, Miles is honestly just concerned. He's not angry at all. In fact, he said he had an inkling that Lucas was at the very least attracted to me, but he had no idea it was love. He asked me how I feel about the situation, and I told him my only concern is our relationship. As much as I care about Lucas as a friend, I'm not entirely sure what he wants from me, if anything at all. I'm marrying his brother in less than a year. On the one hand, I feel bad for him because unrequited love is a shitty thing, and I've been there. But on the other, I'm annoyed. I don't really know why I'm annoyed, just that I am. In any case, Miles thinks I should have a sit down with Lucas. I expected him to want to talk to his brother, but he said we should maintain the illusion that he doesn't know, if only to spare Lucas the guilt and / or embarrassment. He knows his brother better than anyone, so I'll follow his lead on this. The thing is, I'm not even sure Lucas remembers leaving the message. Hopefully he does. I'd hate to break the news. I guess I'll post another update after meeting with Lucas. I still have no idea what to say. Hey, you drunk dialed me saying that you love me. What's up with that? No. Probably not a good approach. When OP said that they was annoyed by this but they don't know why, I think I got why they would be annoyed, having this bomb dropped on you. When you're planning a wedding, you're planning a future with someone else and all the emotional stuff that's going on, the complications, if you like, during what should be like a really happy time for OP, it's got to be shit, right? Especially when none of this is your fault at all. I kind of like the brother's response in this. He was just concerned for his brother. Like, oh shit, is he okay? Almost sounds like this isn't normal behavior. What's going on here, right? But the way it's being dealt with, I kind of thought, is that going to be sustainable? You know, keeping it secret for long term between brothers like this? Is that going to actually work? And kind of putting OP on the spot as well about the conversation. Unless OP's really comfortable with it, I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit. However, it's one of those situations that absolutely needs to be dealt with before the wedding, etc. Because who knows what that could bring up. 100% that's going to be an awkward conversation. But hey, commenter says to OP, read your update. If it were me, I'd want my fiance to handle it. The relationship between the brothers is the most important thing. And if his brother reports the conversation between you and him going differently, it will make things worse. Really, this isn't about you at all. Your fiance pegged it. Maybe the brother is very lonely, jealous of the relationship, more than of you in particular, or having some unrelated issue that is manifesting weird. Either way, those issues are best resolved with his brother, not you. He involved his brother by nature when he told you. He might as well have said, don't call an ambulance, but I'm having a heart attack. Again, I personally would feel more comfortable with it being just the brothers. Opie says, I agree. I went in fully expecting Miles to want to handle this on his own. But he made his stance very clear. Lucas isn't just my brother to you. He's one of your best friends. I trust you, and I also trust him. He told you because he's ready to get over you. Talk to him, see where his head's at. Let him know how you feel, even if he doesn't want to hear it. We've been texting on and off all morning. To be honest, I'm even more ready to marry him than I was before. He's handling this so well. So OP did come in with an update a couple of days later and says, big thanks to everyone who left a comment in the original post. Your input was very helpful. I've since talked to Lucas. Again, Miles' idea. His logic was simple. Lucas told me the truth because he was ready to let go and get over me, or rather, whatever the idea of me he had in his head. Miles thinks keeping Lucas as the best man at our wedding will be punishment enough. As brutal as that sounds, I can't help but agree. Lucas isn't a child and shouldn't be treated like one. I think he knows we're disappointed in him. Worried and sympathetic, but disappointed just the same. If he were truly looking to split the engagement, I feel like he would have taken a more sophisticated approach than drunk dialing me. In any case, we had a chat at mine and Miles' house. Miles was home, in his study working. Lucas and I had lunch in the kitchen. To my relief, he did not feign ignorance. We talked for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. He told me he originally wanted to ask me out in university but waited too long, and then stepped aside when he saw I was interested in his brother instead. He said he left the voice messages without agenda, and I believe him. The way he was talking, his words came off more cathartic and apologetic than hopeful. They didn't come off hopeful at all, actually. He made sure to say our friendship was still genuine and what have we gone through since we met was untainted. The moments of what if were brief, he said, but heavy. By the end of our talk, he was able to admit that maybe his feelings stem from desire for a relationship similar to mine and Miles's, and not so much desire for me. I told him he's still very welcome to the wedding if he feels he's ready for something like that, and he told me he'll be there for sure. We left it at that. All in all, I'm confident everything will be okay. It might take a while before we're normal around each other, but we had a chance to talk and clear the air, and right now, that's good enough for me. Many of the comments below this one saying that, mature conversation wins the day in the end. Some people even suggesting maybe their bond will be stronger after this. Other people not happy with Lucas saying, he shouldn't have dumped this on her in the first place. And that, there should be no contact and all that kind of stuff. But for me in this, I kind of agree with the conversation. I'm glad that they had a conversation. People are messy. There's messy situations, and I'm glad that they're able to move past it in some sort of way. And hopefully no drama happens at the wedding, of course. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from a throwaway account, and it says, my 27 male, father-in-law 59 male, led a smear campaign against me and came between me and my wife, 29 female. I'm lost. How do I forge forward? My 27 male, wife 29 female, and I aren't in a good place. It's not a fun feeling. I feel context is important here. We're college sweethearts, married for 6 years and have a daughter, 4 female. Our constant hurdle is family. It's like having to validate our relationship. I always thought my wife was worth it though. I haven't felt for anyone else the way I do about her. My wife's family is very old school. They're conservative in their beliefs and values. My father-in-law, 59 male, is treated as the captain and looked to as the head. My relationship with them was never smooth, not for my lack of trying. Him putting up with me only came after my daughter. I don't believe he's ever thought I was good enough for his daughter. I wasn't his first choice or in his top 5. I don't share their gated community or fancy school's background. My father-in-law always had some backhanded remark about my upbringing. During a family gathering at my in-laws last Christmas, my father-in-law's iPad went missing. He blew a fuse and accused me of stealing it. His reasoning was there was a period of time I was alone in the house. I was never actually alone in the house. I was helping my mother-in-law, 58 female, in the kitchen because people were kicking back their feet while she was slaving away for a big family. There was no reasoning with him. He called the police and actually told the officers how a real man would own up when caught. But I was never taught to be a man. Another backhanded remark. I was raised in a household of women. My father-in-law expressed once that only a man can raise a boy into a man. I spoke up for myself during his rantings. The whole situation was humiliating, but I had nothing to hide. The officers had to de-escalate and stood around until everyone went their separate ways. My father-in-law did a smear campaign on social media, accusing me of theft and saying how I wasn't family. Some real vicious stuff was said. It impacted my life. I lost a job opportunity because his post came up in the vetting process. The company was rebranding and didn't want drama associated. Essentially, I was shunned from the family. There were those who didn't agree with my father-in-law, but they wanted to stay out of it. No one wanted to cross him. I was no longer welcomed on my in-laws' property until I confessed and apologized. My wife still attended everything without me and took our daughter with her even on New Year's Eve. I wanted to spend it with her and our daughter, but she chose to appease her dad and keep tradition. During all of my father-in-law's accusations, the smear campaign and shunning, my wife didn't lend me support in any way. She bowed to her dad and would tell me to just apologize. She said I was being stubborn by refusing. It wasn't about apologizing. My father-in-law wanted me to beg. I'm not a prideful person, but I'm not getting on my knees and pleading for forgiveness for something I didn't commit. My wife said she was only trying to keep the peace instead of being right. Once, my father-in-law bad-mouthed me around our daughter, and my wife never spoke up. She claimed she didn't hear him. I didn't believe she would have done anything either way. Our daughter kept me afloat. I put my foot down on her attending gathering after the bad-mouthing. My wife accused me of escalating by withholding our daughter. I felt my father-in-law tried to influence my child against me. My move was for boundaries. I wasn't asking for my wife to cut off her dad. I know how important family is to her, but we're married, we have a child, we made vows. I only wanted her to be there for me as my partner and best friend. She abandoned me. I had more support from my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, 35 female, than I ever did from her. We fought a lot. We were pushed to a new level of argument. I held everything in and would blow up. My wife said she had dealt with her dad her whole life, and she learned sometimes it was better just to yield. About a month ago, my name was cleared. My sister-in-law found the iPad in her son's 9-male room. He confessed to taking it. He was afraid to say anything after my father-in-law's reaction to me. My father-in-law never apologized or publicly recanted. He acts like nothing happened, and the rest of the family followed suit. He had my mother-in-law relay that I was welcome to their home again. Others began inviting me to functions. I've declined for myself and my daughter. I'm not holding grudges or using my daughter as punishment. I saw who my father-in-law was clearly. I don't want any involvement with him unless necessary, nor is my daughter allowed to have unsupervised visits with him. I don't want to expose her to the ugliness. The situation remains a sore on my marriage. My wife won't talk about it. If I try, she says I'm throwing the past in her face. I'm just trying to open up to her about how everything still affects me. She feels I'm not working towards keeping the peace. My father-in-law falsely accused me of theft. led a smear campaign, bad-mouthed me around our daughter, and was enabled by some family. This is me keeping the peace. I don't know if this post is the right call. My wife wouldn't approve, but there's no talking to her about this in any real way. I'm lost. We've never been so disconnected. I'm in love with her. I wouldn't have stayed if I wasn't. I want to work on our marriage and do right by our daughter. I don't regret my choice on my father-in-law, but I'm questioning if I'm making things worse. I feel alone. I need fresh perspective. How do I move forward as healthy as possible for my marriage when I don't know where to step? Oh dear, not another but family person. This isn't just about the father-in-law in this. This is about your wife and her system of keeping the peace, which is basically do whatever the father-in-law says. She's 29 years old. She has her own family. She has you, who she seems to treat like shit like the father-in-law is doing. This guy publicly accused you of theft, called the police on you, and then ran a campaign afterwards that you said cost you a job opportunity and has tried to poison your daughter against you. This is someone that should simply not be in your life, and your wife should be stepping back and seeing that and saying, absolutely, he should not be around us, at least at this moment in time. And that's not even including his fucking misogynistic mindset as well. And I think the only way forward with this, if you're going to continue, is marriage counseling, of course, because someone needs to hold a mirror up to your wife and say, what is going on right here is not healthy. Your wife needs to be on your team, and if she doesn't do that, you're just going to keep hitting the same wall time and time again. But Pitta the Great says, this problem is much more simple than you think. You think you're fighting a battle against your father-in-law and can somehow magically win him over and everything will be okay. Your father-in-law is actually an arsehole, but the real problem is that your wife is actually a shitty partner. Keeping the peace is just code for, I want you to be the target so I'm not inconvenienced by the conflict. Your marriage is not healthy because your wife is not on your side. She stated quite clearly that she'd go along with her father. You can't change that. You can decide if you want your life to be like this forever. Unique says you have a wife problem. She should have supported you and stood up to her father for you. I would not be around her family again, but I also couldn't be married to someone who allowed my family to slander me. Puzzled says, leave your wife. She's a weak-willed person who will let you take all the blame while she cowers. Don't stay with someone who is an adult and can't stand up to daddy. She likes a mama's boy who can't tell mummy no. Well, now daddy can take care of her if she prefers keeping him happy over standing up for her partner. Also, you have a defamation case. Pursue it. They accuse you of a crime, which is per se defamation, but does not need damages to sue. You have a case and you should go after him. If his family has money, even better. He posted on social media it was a slam dunk case. Don't take this lying down. Be a man, like he said. You have legal recourse. Use it. So Opie updated and said, I, 27 male, want to thank everyone for the support. I appreciate it. The original post was the first time I put everything out there and didn't feel dismissed. The situation with my father-in-law, 59 male, was extensive and largely unaddressed by my wife, 29 female. It occurred to me that not being able to open up to her, I didn't know how to communicate with her anymore. The feedback I received was a real eye-opener. My issue isn't isolated to my father-in-law. This isn't solely a spat with in-laws. It's an issue involving my wife. Things with my father-in-law are what they are. I'm not seeking a deeper connection with him. We're in-laws, nothing more, nothing less, and he made it abundantly clear in his smear campaign that I wasn't family but a hurdle the family needed to overcome. My concern is my wife and our daughter, 4 female. They are my family and my focus. That said, I realize I can't make my wife do anything. I can't make her communicate with me. I can't make her instill boundaries with her dad. I only have a say for myself and our daughter. I know something needs to change. Our marriage can't be sustained this way. It's not good for anyone, especially our daughter. After getting my feelings out, I felt more resolved with what I needed to do. I told my wife about the original post. She's seen it in some comments. She wasn't thrilled, but to her credit, she didn't automatically shut me down like usual. She was open to hearing what I had to say. I don't know if ultimatum is the right term because I wasn't trying to force her to choose anything. I'm just trying to implement boundaries for our daughter and our marriage. I told her that things needed to change because our marriage couldn't survive like this. No one should feel alone or abandoned in their marriage. The options were either couples therapy or separation. She didn't take the separation well. She seemed repulsed by it. She said she knew we weren't in a good place, but she didn't realize that's where I was at and how we made vows and our bond is supposed to withstand. She feels her dad shouldn't take away from us. I told her I wasn't taking separation lightly. Our vows do mean something, but whether she admits it or not, she checked out on our vows in favor of her dad. It wasn't keeping the peace. It was me drowning while she was on her dad's boat and never tossed me a line. Our issues are bigger than just her dad. Our current way isn't it. My wife chose therapy. We found a therapist and it's officially scheduled. I wanted to be hopeful, but that's not something I've let myself feel for a bit now. I didn't believe she was only telling me what she thought I wanted to hear. I saw the reality of it hit her when separation was put on the table. I asked her if marriage counseling was something she really wanted. I'm not talking about the sometimes it's better to yield thing she said about her dad or for keeping the peace. I was asking what she genuinely wanted. She said it was, and that she doesn't want to lose our relationship or our family. Some have questioned why I'd want to try working on my marriage. It's not about staying for our daughter. I want to make a real attempt for my family and see if things can be mended. I know there's more to my wife than just my father-in-law. I fell in love with her because of who she was as a person. When we met and got to know each other, it was away from her dad. I saw how caring she was for others, even if she didn't agree with their point of view, how decent she was, and how she had a weight off her shoulders with distance from her dad's shadow. My wife is the youngest of her siblings, and I would say my in-laws hold on to her more tightly. I didn't know how bad things were until I actually dealt with my father-in-law. That's why she chose a long-distance school and didn't come home on breaks often. Her work moved us closer to home, and she was back into the fold fully. My father-in-law's smear campaign was our first major obstacle following that. I'm in love with my wife, but I'm not speaking out of blind love. Whether we're together or not, I want the best for her. Part of my hope for marriage counseling is that she begins to regain sight of herself separate from her dad, and she sees that boundaries for herself aren't crossing a line. Maybe we can recover together and come out better for it. I know we got married a little young. Trust me, we'd heard our fair share from the skeptics, but I was always sure of my wife. Marriage wasn't something I took lightly. I didn't expect there to be nothing but clear skies. But we should want more from each other. Being there for each other and emotional intimacy are the bare minimum. We should be a team. Our family is the core before any other relationship. To me, our vows mean consciously choosing each other and committing to each other even when it's hard. I don't know what marriage counseling will bring. It'd be my first experience with therapy. All I can do is take everything one step at a time and reaffirm boundaries for myself and my daughter. I'm not withholding my daughter as punishment or holding grudges. I don't even want an apology from my father-in-law because I know it'd be empty. I'm just done giving him any more power. I'm protecting my daughter too. To those who haven't experienced something like this, I hope you never will, and for those in a similar struggle, I hope for nothing but the best for you. You're not alone. Thank you for showing me that I'm not either. OP confirmed below the post that they're also looking into individual therapy at the same time, which, can only be a good thing. And I think that'd be a good thing for the wife in this situation as well. I imagine those ties to the father and the family run a lot deeper and how they was brought up, etc. Because it sort of said it all to me when, OP was saying that when she was away from him, she was like pretty much different. But then when they're back together, all this happens again and she's almost cowering from him, No excuses for her because, OP's right in what they've been doing. Their line about them drowning was absolutely too true. And I think she's incredibly lucky to have someone like OP who's offered this marriage counseling and trying to work through it, because we've seen it loads that, that would be just a breaking point, especially everything that the father-in-law put OP through, and she pretty much backed it up, which is breaking trust. And, once that trust is gone, I can only imagine how hard it is to build that back up. I can only see someone like that in a different light. I can't see any other way around it, but regardless, I wouldn't be anywhere near that father-in-law in the future. I'd be no contact with that person. He just seems someone that's going to wait for the next opportunity to jump on you again in some way, shape or form. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love. Oh God, sassy today.